Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai being the name of his beloved Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus. It's the brother Yair Radha, the WFI Indiana Camp, coming at y'all with a quick cold cut through the spirit, simply going into discipline, temperance, denying the things that are unpleasing in the sight of the Most High God. You understand? And we all need this reminder from time to time that what? We got to make sure that we're constantly fighting against those things that's trying to bring us down, no matter what it may be. You understand? There's a multitude of things in this world that try to take you away from truth, that try to take you away from the words of the Lord, that try to take you away from staying and being in the spirit. You understand? Whether that be lust, whether that be the lust of the world, whether that be anger, whether that be strife, contention, whether it be the workplace, whether it's pride, arrogancy, deceit, whatever it's a plethora of things that are designed to try to take you away from this truth, or take you away from being in the spirit, take you away from meditating on the words of the Lord, all type of different things. So with that, we got to make sure that we're putting forth temperance, discipline. You understand? Not feeding yourself those things that ultimately are bad for you, right? Not on a physical sense like food, but in that way, in a certain manner as well. But more importantly, your spirit, right? So we'll get this real fast. We get this all the time. We get this real quick. Then we gonna hop right into it. All right. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 8. It says, "For he that soweth to the flesh shall the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the spirit shall the spirit reap life everlasting." So the more you sow into your spirit, and the things that you give into your spirit, you feed in your spirit, you working out your spirit, you understand, you strengthening your spirit, guess what? You'll receive those things of the spirit. Righteousness. You understand? And ultimately, that'll lead to what? The kingdom of heaven. You understand? But if you vice versa it and sow into your flesh, and now you feed in your flesh, you strengthening your flesh is getting stronger than your spirit, and guess what? Like we always say, guess what? You're gonna reap those things of the flesh, which is what? Wickedness, which ultimately leads to death and damnation. All right. So we have to do what? We have to give and feed our spirits the righteous things. You don't want to feed yourself things that are bad for it, wicked for it. Just like on a physical level, you don't want to feed your body stuff that's bad for it. You want to. Even the scriptures tell you that paraphrasing greatly, but a good man he'll have care for his diet, right? And vice versa for a woman. So the point is, you want to give into your spirit those righteous things, and you'll receive and reap the benefit of sowing and strengthening your spirit, right? Through these laws, statutes, and commandments, and through the Most High God, right? Faith. So let's dive right into it. All right, let's go to the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 12. It says, "Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust." It said that denying ungodliness. The key word, denying. Right? So it didn't say you wasn't going to be tempted. It didn't say you wasn't going to be tried. It didn't say, that these things weren't going to come after you. But it said denying them. So no matter if you're being tempted, no matter if these things are coming before you, no matter if these things are following after you, or they go away for a while and come back, guess what? You're denying it. You're denying it. All right? It said denying ungodliness and worldly lust. And lust is not always something sexual. You can lust after anything. You can lust after a car. You can lust after whatever. You can lust after money. All right, now lusting after money, those things, ultimately, there's nothing wrong with having money or seeking in a healthy manner to try to obtain it to take care of your family and your household. Because even the Lord said a man that doesn't take care of his household, he's worse than an infidel, paraphrasing. You understand? It also said that money is a defense. When you read the book of Ecclesiastes, right? We'll get that real fast. Let's get that. Book of Ecclesiastes. All right. This ain't gonna be too long. I'm just going too long of a video. We're gonna get right to the point on all this, but I just want to get these real quick, just because I said it. All right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 12. It says, "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." So it tells you, look, hey, wisdom is a defense. But guess what? Money is a defense too. You understand? Especially when it's used in righteousness. Money's a defense. You understand? Through money, you able to keep a roof over your head, so on and so forth. Ultimately, these things come from the Most High God. We understand that. But you also don't want to love money or fiend after money or lust after money. You understand? Because then it can become a bad thing, essentially. Let's get that in the book of it's in 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy. I believe it's 2 Timothy. Yeah, here it is. This is the book of, or it's like 1 Timothy chapter 6, and Salakia. It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, "For the love of money," for the love, right? For the love of money. So a lot of people, when they quote this scripture in the world, they'll say money. They'll say money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. There's nothing wrong with money. Money is not the issue. The issue is the love for it. Because the love of money and desperation of it will cause a man or a woman to do anything. It'll cause them to act out, right? But reading on, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." So lusting for money or after money, it can be bad, right? Not money itself is not bad, or obtaining it or having it, but when you coveting after it, you lusting after it, you lusting after those things, guess what? You'll put whatever you have to do to get it before the Most High God, before this truth, right? But the point is, what? Point is, guess what? Back in Titus chapter 2 and verse 12, it says, "Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world." Because why? This present world is set up for you it's nothing but distractions. You understand? From it'll cause you or try to grab you up in multiple different ways. You understand? Whether that be through idleness, distractions, the cares of this life, the worldly things of this life, all those different things, it's just trying to snatch you up and get you and take you out the spirit. You understand? And when your workplace will get you out the spirit. You understand? People in the world will get you out the spirit. The bright lights and all this and that and that and this will get you out the spirit, right? And in that getting you out the spirit, guess what? You feed in your flesh. Now you find yourself somewhere you're not supposed to, or now you find yourself giving yourself over to something that you don't even give the Most High God that much time. Or now whatever the case it may be, guess what? You find yourself falling into the pit or falling into the snare and the trap of the things of the world and the lust of the world. Which, guess what? This truth, these scriptures, these commandments teach us what? Teach us to deny those things. Having temperance, discipline, patience, denying those different things. All right, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. All right, it's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 25. And it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate. Right? That word temperate, temperance, or being temperate just means what? Discipline. Straight up and down. It just means discipline. Restraint. Right? So on and so forth. So when it says, and every man that's striving for mastery, meaning what? Somebody that's striving for the prize, somebody that's striving for the goal, somebody that's striving for, in our case, eternal life, the kingdom of heaven, forever peace, no more sorrow, no more pain, those tears wiped away. Well, that's what we striving for, the kingdom. And then so in striving for masteries, in striving for the kingdom, it says, is temperate in all things. So in all things, to the best of our ability, we got to put forth what? Discipline, temperance, restraint, denying the things that this world has to offer, and denying the things that your flesh wants. You have to deny yourself. So the things that you think you want, or the things that you think you want to do, but in turn it's actually bad for you spiritually, and in cases physically, then guess what? You have to deny that. You have to have enough discipline, enough temperance to say, no, I can't do that. No. Hey, I remember when we was in school years ago, these people would come and talk to us, and they would talk about drugs and all type of other different stuff or whatever, and they'd just be like, just say no. Hey, when it comes to the things that are that entice you and tempt you and so on and so forth, hey, you gotta say no, man. You gotta say no. You understand? It's through the spirit, you gotta say no. Not just out loud, but through the spirit, you have to deny. Through the spirit, you have to turn away from. In the spirit, you have to flee from it. It tell you that in the book of Sirach chapter 22. 1 on down. Flee from sin, that's from the face of a serpent. Get not near it, or else it'll bite thee. Paraphrasing greatly. All right, so it says, and every man that striveth for masteries is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So the same way how people put forth discipline and temperance for worldly things, like what? People put forth discipline when it comes to sports. Professional athletes are some of the most disciplined people on the planet. You understand? They wake up early in the morning, they train, they have a strict regimen, they have a strict diet about themselves, all type of different things. And they doing that for more than half the year. For more than half the year, they're strictly, putting forth discipline and temperance, and denying a lot of things. And then even in the off season, what are they doing? They training in the off season too. So really year round, they're being disciplined. In like manner, and even more, guess what? We have to do that same thing in the spirit for the Most High God, for that uncorruptible crown that we're trying to obtain, which is the kingdom of heaven and everlasting life. All right. So let's get to Apocrypha. All right. Let's go to, what time is it? All right. Let's go to, we get Sirach. I believe it's Sirach chapter 18. And Sirach chapter 18 and 30. All right, this is the book of Sirach chapter 18 and verse 30. In verse 30, and it says, go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. So it said, hey, go not after thy lusts. Remember, lust is not just sexual things. You understand? Refrain yourself from fornication, adultery, so on and so forth, but also those things that you may lust after that's of this world, like the lights, the clubs, the this, the that, the women, the You may be somebody you love just watching movies or TV or shows, and you binge, when you find yourself damn binge, where you done binge watch 3 seasons in one day, and it took you 6 hours, and for 6 hours, that's 6 hours you could have gave to the Most High God. You understand? Or that's just 6 hours you could have been productive doing a lot of different things. You understand? That pertains to the Lord. Like, you could have read for a certain amount of time, prayed for a certain amount of time, meditated upon a couple things during that time frame, right? You could have reflected and examined yourself. You understand? During that time frame, there's a lot of stuff you can do in that time frame. But guess what? You spent it on something that wasn't pleasing or didn't help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's not to say you can't watch a show, but you have to deny yourself at times. You have to not only deny yourself, but refrain yourself from your lusts. You have to. You understand? Or it'll cause you to fall, or it'll cause you to pick up habits or pick up certain things, or to forget certain things. You understand, that was good, and now you're forgetting those things, or you losing those good righteous habits, and now you're taking on, you understand, abominable wicked habits. That ultimately in turn is feeding your flesh and not feeding your spirit. All right, so I'm gonna read that again. It says, go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself. So denying, refraining, putting forth temperance and discipline, right? So when you denying and you're refraining yourself, that's you putting forth discipline and temperance. And you have to be able to do that in this walk. You have to pray to the Most High God for those things. It's a beautiful thing to pray to the Most High God for temperance or discipline, because through discipline you have to that's how you're able to the best of your ability, deny the things of the flesh. Walk in the spirit as much as you can. Keep your mind stay focused on the Lord as much as you can. That's through discipline. And ultimately other different things that factor in on a righteous manner, in a righteous manner. But ultimately, hey, this is, this is what? This is temperance and discipline. And the carrot discipline is love. You understand? So when you love or let's get that real quick. We'll end on that one real fast. Right in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. It's one of my favorite precepts in the whole Bible. All right, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse, I get right to the point, 17. It says, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. Right, talking about wisdom. Right, the beginning of it is discipline. It says, the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. So when you put discipline towards something, it's because you love it. And if you love the Most High God and you love His truth, then guess what? You have to put forth and be able to show discipline. Right? So Lord willing, brothers and sisters was edified. Lord willing, brothers and sisters continue to put forth discipline and temperance in the last days. And if you haven't, or if you haven't been to the ability that you can, pray to the Most High God. You understand that you'll be able to receive more of it and be able to put that forth and be able to walk in discipline, be able to walk in temperance, to be able to have the strength to deny those things that are unpleasing in the sight of the Lord, and to refrain yourself from those different things. All right, so Lord willing, brothers and sisters, edified. Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom.